Tonight, Minnesota's governor signs an executive order telling Minnesotans to stay at home, when it goes into effect, and how long it will last.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke. A major announcement from Minnesota's governor today. All of the state's restaurants, bars, and schools will stay closed until May, and all residents are asked to stay at home for the next 2 weeks. Governor Tim Walz joined Wisconsin and Michigan this afternoon by issuing his own version of a stay-at-home order. Minnesota's order takes effect at 11:59 on Friday night and ends at 5 p.m. on April 10th. The order allows you to do essential things like go to the doctor, the grocery store, get takeout, get gas, or go for a walk or a bike ride. Some workers are exempt from the stay-at-home order. Those include healthcare workers, law enforcement, child care, grocery store employees, emergency shelter workers, and more. But
this does not mean you don't step out of your house. This does not mean that you can't do some of the things that keep life functioning on. But it does mean that we're getting more restrictive.
As we mentioned, under this order, bars, restaurants, and other public attractions will have to stay closed until at least May 1st. Schools will continue online learning through May 4th. Like in Wisconsin, Governor Walz says Minnesota law enforcement will enforce the stay-at-home order. He says the state has the ability to arrest people, but they don't want to do that. He says police are preparing to enforce if necessary. You can read the governor's entire order on our website, CBS3Duluth.com. We'll have much more reaction tonight at 10.
Duluth Mayor Emily Larson responded to the governor's shelter-in-place order. She says the city knew it was a possibility and factored it into their preparations. City staff are ready to continue providing essential services. Larson says decisions like the one the governor made today are extremely difficult but important in the name of public health. Meanwhile, a third person in St. Louis County tested positive for coronavirus today. The Minnesota Department of Health confirmed the case this morning. According to the county, the patient is a woman in her late 30s who is recovering at home. She picked up the infection through domestic travel, not community spread. County officials say she only had contact with the people in her household who have been asked to quarantine themselves for the next 14 days. Despite the patient's travel-related exposure, during a press conference today, county leaders said people should assume community spread is happening. They say that's because testing is limited, so the exact number of cases is unknown. To keep COVID-19 from spreading further, one county commissioner pleaded with people to not travel outside their own communities.
If you're currently in one of those areas where there's reported cases, please consider not coming here for a while. I know everyone loves the Northland, but again, we want to make sure our residents are healthy and safe.
County leaders are also asking snowbirds in other parts of the country to stay there for the time being if they can.
Meanwhile, Dr. Andrew Thompson, an infectious disease specialist with St. Luke's, says both Duluth hospitals are currently preparing for low-level spread. But he says they also have plans in the works for potentially doubling or tripling hospital capacity. Thompson says they're not here yet, but that could include using hospital space not normally reserved for patients. Right now, he says they're finding new roles for some hospital employees because their usual jobs are not active for the time being.
Clinics are much slower in volume than usual. Elective surgeries aren't happening. So we have a lot of workers who are available to help out in different roles in the hospital.
Right now, Duluth hospitals are still only testing 3 categories of patients for COVID-19. Thompson says those are hospitalized patients, healthcare workers who are ill, and people who live in group settings like nursing homes. Now let's take a look at the number of cases across the area. The number of cases in Michigan grew by more than 500 since Tuesday. They now sit at about 2,300 cases with 43 deaths. They have a shelter in effect right now. In Wisconsin, they are up to nearly 600 cases with 6 deaths. They also have a stay-at-home order. And in Minnesota, there are just shy of 300 cases with 1 death. As mentioned, a shelter in place is set to go into effect in the coming days. In the United States, there are now more than 65,000 cases and 910 deaths. Worldwide, there are now 465,000 cases with 21,000 deaths and nearly 114,000 recoveries.
All right, let's check in on the weather with Dave real quick. Dave, kind of a gloomy day out there, but hey, you know, it's March.
A little bit gloomy, but dry on the Minnesota side of life, except for a few spotty showers here and there. Better chance for precip goes to Wisconsin and Michigan as we go through the night. So we start with a live look at the Ascove area where it looks almost spring-like in that neck of the woods. At least close to the roadways, the snow has melted, but a lot of towns still have at least a foot of snow on the ground. So it's still a while to go towards spring, but we make baby steps every day with one slight step backwards tonight. For folks in Wisconsin and Michigan, they get a chance for a rain-snow mix, and if it's more snow than rain, a little bit could stick to the ground. We'll show you a chart on how much is possible later on here in the newscast, but right now we'll show you the general day planner forecast for our Thursday, which says in Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, once this threat of the mix goes away, it should start to clear up slowly as the day goes on and warm up a little bit as well. By tomorrow evening, partly cloudy and 38, perhaps even warmer and sunnier by Friday. We'll show you that whole 7-day forecast in more detail in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers' stay-at-home order went into effect at 8 o'clock this morning. That means non-essential businesses in the state must close. We have details on what that includes on our website. You're also asked to stay at home unless you're headed to the doctor, grocery store, or to care for a loved one. You are able to go outside, take a walk, or visit any businesses that may happen to be open. Superior Mayor Jim Payne is reminding residents that all travel on the roads is assumed to be essential and you will not get pulled over and asked for any paperwork. Payne added that if you work at a non-essential business in Minnesota, try to stay home, but they won't inhibit your travel to work. This comes as some Wisconsin cities are frustrated with Governor Tony Evers' refusal to change the date of the presidential primary despite the spread of coronavirus. The election is set for April 7th. The city of Green Bay filed a federal lawsuit trying to cancel in-person voting. River Falls officials are asking how they're supposed to run the election and comply with Evers' stay-at-home order. State Republican leaders, however, are backing the Democratic governor's decision to hold the election. Besides the presidential primary, it features a Supreme Court race and hundreds of local elections.
Meanwhile, Superior Mayor Jim Payne says the city needs election workers for the presidential primary on April 7th. Everyone is asked to vote absentee, but Payne says some polling places will be open that day. He says if you are healthy and willing to work, the city will pay you. You can call the city clerk's office for more information. That number is on your screen. It's also on our website, CBS3Duluth.com. Mayor Payne also says the city will begin drive-up voting next week. More details on that to come.
There's relief on the horizon for local businesses that have had to drastically reduce their operations due to the coronavirus outbreak. With the stimulus bill set to be passed today or tomorrow, there's billions of dollars earmarked for bars, restaurants, and others who have had to close their doors, reduce hours, and lay off staff. Tonight, we're looking into how this will help some of our local favorites stay afloat and be better set up for the future.
Okay, no, that's not it. This is Carl.
For small businesses like Canal Park Brewing, the last 2 weeks have been full of uncertainty.
We operate day by day. We're doing everything we can just to stay afloat.
After Governor Tim Walz ordered restaurants to go to curbside pickup only, the company's general manager, Tom Rebelski, says they've been focusing on takeout orders.
Okay, what would you like?
Growlers and growlers to make ends meet.
We did end up laying off our entire front of the house staff to be able to survive. 2 of the 3 Tuesdays will be well done in that day.
And business is down.
It's at least an 80% drop and compared to where we were in sales.
And staff has had to be laid off.
We started prior to the layoff with about 80 employees. We are down to probably, what are we, about 10 employees that are hourly employees that are still actively working.
But this.
We have a bipartisan agreement on the largest rescue package in American history.
Music to their ears.
It shows us that we have a chance of getting this economy back on track and getting people back to work again, too.
Lawmakers have struck a deal to put cash in citizens' pockets and create a roughly $400 billion low or no interest loan program for small businesses.
It'll allow us to add more staff back on, potentially add more back onto our menu. Hopefully be able to partner with some of our other local businesses to help them kind of recover as well.
Where a barren dining room and dry taps have become the norm, Rebelski says long-term, a bailout not only helps bring customers back, but sets business up for the future.
It helps us to, do some more research and development, create some more different kinds of beers, purchase new equipment.
Creating a bright outlook for the coming days.
We'll be here now and we'll be here when this all ends, and better than and stronger than ever.
To help the community, Canal Park Brewing is adding free meals for kids. That runs from 4 to 6 starting tomorrow. You get 1 free meal per kid in the car. They will also be changing their hours to 4 to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, how Duluth is working to keep construction projects on schedule during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Temperature-wise, we were very normal today. The norm is 38. We hit 38. Should slowly go up temperature-wise, though, for the next week or so. 50 is not out of the question by Monday. In between then, the chance for a mix for some towns tonight, which we'll talk about right after our break.
Welcome to Medical Insight, a weekly healthcare feature brought to you by the experts at Essentia Health. Here's your host, Louis St. George.
Today on Medical Insight, Dr. Paul Kosmatka discusses Essentia Health's orthopedic trauma team, which provides high-quality care to patients when they need it most.
Unlike other orthopedic specialists that sort of focus on one body region, we really take care of everything from the collarbone through the toes. The more common broken bones of collarbones, broken wrists, broken ankles, and those are injuries that often get taken care of by the orthopedic trauma surgeon, simply because we have a very easy access to the operating room to get patients into the operating room when those injuries need surgery. We have a dedicated orthopedic trauma service that functions every day. We have an operating room available to us every day for emergency and urgent orthopedic conditions. So that's why we can get patients in the same day that they're injured into the operating room, even for more minor injuries. But certainly when patients are admitted to the hospital with severe orthopedic injuries, we have a crew ready, a room ready, a team ready to take care of that patient when they need it.
Essentia boasts the only Level 1 trauma center in northern Minnesota, ensuring that our patients can receive expert care close to home.
For patients and particularly their families to have to be transferred out of the area for a severe injury where they might be in the hospital for a week or two and then need to be in a rehab center for a period of time after that, it's a significant strain on those families to have to travel that far to visit their loved one in the hospital. So providing that service close to home, I think, is very important.
For Medical Insight, I'm Louis St. George.
This Medical Insight was brought to you by Essentia Health. To learn more about the services we offer, visit essentiahealth.org.
Kelly Hinseth takes her job at full throttle. There's no slowing down. She's full of enthusiasm.
Kelly brings a youthful exuberance to the newscast. She's loaded with energy. She's really passionate about sports.
I think even if you're not interested in sports, she draws you in.
She's always up and ready to go and ready to show us the latest in sports.
Get to know Kelly Hinseth weekday nights on Live Local CBS 3.
Adam?
I'm your man, baby. There you are. I've been looking all over for you. That's what I'm here for. To pass on all this good stuff. Yeah, baby. What if there's a natural disaster? The big one. I may have to populate the human race. It's happened before. My name is Adam.
Matt LeBlanc, Man with a Plan, premieres Thursday, April 2nd on CBS.
CBS 3 weather is brought to you by Lulich Implement. Now, the CBS 3 Duluth Weather Max forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, our latest low-pressure system tracking through the region last night brought a couple of sprinkles to Minnesota, kept the sky gray today, but the low's only halfway through our region, so there's still a chance for precip tonight for Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula, and it'll be the cool sector of the low. So folks in northwestern Wisconsin do have a trace to an inch possible of sticking by tomorrow morning, and into the snow belt, maybe 1 to 3 inches. And that's, of course, if our mix turns out to be more snow than rain. It could go the other way. Just be ready if you have to commute in Wisconsin or the UP. It may be a little bit slippery tonight through early tomorrow morning. And then we all start to improve condition-wise by tomorrow afternoon. Current conditions at the airport in Duluth, 36 degrees. That's what we have, and a mostly cloudy sky building in again. Northerly wind, it's going 7 miles per hour. Relative humidity, 64%. And our current temperatures, well, thanks to the cool sector of the low starting to come across, we're already going down from the daytime high of 38. It's only 35 International Falls right now, then 33 Hibbing, hair warmer Grand Rapids, mid to upper 30s for a lot of places on the North Shore, 36 Moose Lake. Now into Wisconsin, where some of that warm front that led the low is still lingering here. We're still looking at 42 in Hayward and 40 in Watersmead, but things will cool there a little bit as well. And by overnight tonight here, places like International Falls could drop into the teens for the overnight low temperatures, then rebounding fairly well tomorrow. And by Monday, if we keep our fingers crossed, maybe 50 degrees will be achieved. Doppler map right now shows clouds still sticking to the sky in northern Minnesota, even though I think the bulk of our precip chances pass by. It will linger tonight through tomorrow, though, for Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula. It's rain right now, but we are starting to see a bit of a mix form up, and that's what could strike folks in the snow belt here, especially tonight, again to the tune of 1 to 3 inches here for the South Shore. And then northwestern parts of Wisconsin here, maybe a trace to an inch. Now, taking a look at what's happening tonight, yeah, because we're riding the boundary between that cold frontier, it's folks in Wisconsin and Michigan get the chance for the mix, while it should be cloudy and dry in Minnesota. But like I mentioned, things are going to start to change up by tomorrow afternoon. High pressure should bring back sunshine. If not fully on Thursday, we'll really get smacked with it come Friday. Friday should be mostly sunny. In turn, by Saturday, fresh low-pressure system brings back a chance for a rain and snow mix to all zones. Probably just light stuff, though. Forecast here tonight, Minnesota-wise, the temperatures will go from 16 inland to 28 by the lake, mostly cloudy sky. Into Wisconsin and Michigan, the low temps there run 25 to 28 degrees. And the rain and snow mix is indeed possible for all zones in that part of our region. But for tomorrow, even there, in the afternoon, partly sunny skies should return thanks to the higher pressure, and high temps will nudge upwards a bit, 38 to 43 degrees. Normal's around 37 or 38 degrees, so we're beating it for the most part on that side of the border. And in Minnesota, well, 37 to 42 is fairly close, although cooler by the lake, low 30s there. Partly sunny on Thursday, give way to clear to partly cloudy, mostly sunny conditions on Friday, then a mix is possible Saturday. Upper 40s Sunday. Tony, Kristen, 50 for Monday, and probably for Tuesday as well, but perhaps already slipping back a touch by next Wednesday when we get a chance for some rain showers coming across.
I think with everything going on, sunshine and 50 is probably a welcome sight for a lot of people in the region.
You know, I think you're right, Tony.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave.
The Supreme Court will review the lower court's ruling on 3 Polymet permits. The company made that announcement this afternoon. Polymet and the Department of Natural Resources asked the court to look at the rulings. The Court of Appeals in January sent 3 permits back to the DNR for a contested case hearing. It's part of Polymet's efforts to open a copper nickel mine on the Iron Range.
There's some good news for some of this year's major construction projects in Duluth. Governor Walz's stay-at-home order includes construction workers as essential employees. Duluth leaders hope that will help keep projects like Phase 3 of the Superior Street reconstruction efforts to stay on track. Right now, city leaders say work will begin between Lake Avenue and West 3rd Street on April 6th. Signs will start going up next week.
With Governor Walz's new home order, home sellers and buyers are left wondering about their situation. President of the Lake Superior Area Realtors Organization, Doug Common, says the housing market can and has been moving forward. But he says as far as checking out a home for sale, that future is uncertain based on the governor's order. He says realtors might have to adapt, and the use of technology is already widespread in the real estate industry.
Electronic signing of contracts, electronic notarization, virtual tours of homes, and remote meeting software have lended to our ability to conduct near all aspects of the transaction remotely.
Under the governor's new home order, pending real estate transactions are still included as a critical sector exemption and will be able to continue. Coming up, Kelly Hinseth is in with sports. Stay with us.
Northwest Outlet is closed temporarily due to state regulation. Stay safe, everyone.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
Better?
Empire Roofing, it's about trust. Spring is here. It's time for a free roof inspection from the team at Empire Roofing. Empire's a local family business with outstanding customer reviews. Empire's also a GAF Master Elite roofing contractor. And GAF has released its revolutionary new HDZ shingles. They're so much better than old school shingles. They have an outstanding wind speed warranty. So important in this part of the country. Have your roof inspected now. Contact Empire Roofing at empireroofingmn.com or call 218-724-5584.
Holden Insurance is an independent agency partnered with Auto Owners Insurance. Each member of our team provides the best service and the peace of mind that comes with our experience and community ties. We handle all types of insurance, commercial, personal, employee benefits, and life and health. We know our clients and with them envision a future that keeps them and their families safe and protected. With Auto Owners Insurance, this is done through product knowledge, competitive pricing, and excellent service. Holden Insurance, professional agency with personal service.
Ever since we opened Culver's, community has meant the world to us, especially in times like these when the going gets tough. That's why we're keeping our drive-thrus open, continuing to cook every meal to order as if you were a guest in our home. We want to be here for you, today and every day, sharing our smile and safely serving with all our heart. Caring for you and your family, it's our pleasure. Together, we'll get through this.
Jackie, it is us.
Who's that?
Your Aunt Lizzie and Uncle Javier.
Oh, you mean Aunt Hoyty and Uncle Toity?
I have lost all my money.
How?
Overspending and shopping too much and buying way too many things.
Aren't those all the same?
Well, maybe in English.
If you guys are going to live here, you're going to have to contribute.
And where do you think we're going to find the money to do that?
Get jobs!
Broke, premiering Thursday, April 2nd on CBS.
Like I said, this is a dipstick.
Dipstick.
Now, CBS3 Sports with Kelly Hinson.
Another day, another batch of awards for the UMD men's hockey team. This time it's Justin Richards, who had his career best season this past year. The junior forward was named NCHC Defensive Forward of the Year. This is Richards' second straight season as the winner. Richards spent this past season as an assistant captain while racking up stats for the books. He ended the season with a career-high 14 goals, ranking second on the team with 11 assists. He also tied for the NCAA lead in shorthanded goals with 3, which is the most by a Bulldog in 8 years. Since joining the Bulldog program in 2017-2018, Richards has skated in all 120 games and has 66 points, 6 goals and 40 assists, and a +40 plus-minus rating to show for it as well. It's been nearly 2 weeks since the global pandemic suspended all collegiate athletics and sports as a whole, putting a halt to UMD winter postseason runs and spring sports as well. Coming to terms with the fact that sports are done for the year has been hard to process. For UMD, they have a rich history of postseason runs. UMD women's basketball and men's hockey were just getting ready to begin their playoff runs. This is a tough pill to swallow for Josh Burlow and the athletics administration, but it was a necessary decision.
As more and more was coming out across the globe and here in the United States and hearing from their expertise, that was for me when I started to realize that the drastic measures were going to happen a lot more quickly than I and many others had anticipated. And I was proud of our university system, our campus, our conferences for taking thoughtful approaches and having really good dialogue. As the week progressed, it became pretty clear that we're going to have to make some drastic changes And that was hard because my first thought is to our student athletes, our coaches, staff, and our fans. And sports and the Bulldogs are so important to those folks. It's hard.
Burlow also wants to remind fans that they can take part in the voting for what would have been, or what would be, the 7th Hobie Baker Award winners. Number 7, Scott Perunovich, has made the 10 finalists, hoping to move on to the next round. You can vote at hobiebaker.com/vote, and we'll have more with my conversation with UMD Athletic Director Josh Burlow tonight at 10. Some scary news to report from Minnesota Timberwolves Karl Anthony Towns of the Minnesota Timberwolves says his mother has been hospitalized for the past week and is dealing with health complications from what he believes to be COVID-19. Towns said his mother is now in a medically induced coma. Towns revealed in an emotional video he posted last night on social media.
She just wasn't getting better. Her fever was never cutting from 103, maybe go down to 101.9 with the meds, and then immediately spiked back up during the night. She was very uncomfortable. Her lungs were getting worse. Her cough was getting worse.
Towns urged people in his video to take the virus seriously. That's going to do it for sports. We'll have more back here at 10. Kristen, I'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks, Kelly. Tonight on the CBS3 News at 10, as you know, the coronavirus pandemic is leaving many people stuck inside the house. And now several Iron Range musicians are hoping to brighten everyone's day. Tonight at 10, CBS3's Emma Quinn shows us how local musicians are coming together during these uncertain times.
And before we go, a Superior group is trying to help both healthcare workers and local restaurants. Bordertown Betty's is an online fundraising group. Now that people need help more than ever, they are asking for donations to support what they are calling the Healthcare Workers Meal Fund. This fund will feed healthcare workers food from local restaurants during their lunch breaks. If you want to donate, the easiest way is to go to their Facebook page and message them. The link is on our website, cbs3duluth.com.
Ah, I love that.
Yeah.
All right, Dave's here for a final look at the weather. A little gloomy today, but I have my eyes on some of those temperatures early next week already.
Yeah, temperatures will increase as the rest of the week unfolds. And tonight, it should be cloudy but dry in Minnesota. There's a chance for a rain-snow mix to try to stick to the ground in Wisconsin, Michigan. But by tomorrow afternoon, that should be gone, and we should set up for a sunny day by Friday. Another round of mixes is possible Saturday, but then after that, we go towards sunshine and 50 on Monday. That'll be a day to remember.
Absolutely, it sure will. Thanks, Dave. I welcome that sunshine.
Yeah, I
that's
could
for
use
sure.
it.
Well, thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here at 10.